Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another week of our webinars. And not a lot going on this week. Excuse me. I hope you guys are doing well. And again, just a lot of the same stuff we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. Just waiting for this thing to roll over and die, which is imminent at this point. We end up with a small little candle this week. We're at the supply zone. This is all one directional. I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over. There's just about, no chance that we're making new highs from this level. We have to, we might break this zone at this point just because they keep forcing their way up here without anything. I mean, you could just see that there's no demand over here. It's very weak. Anything that happens over here is going to pull us all the way down over here. So it's really imminent destruction coming. So I'm totally leaning short. I'm starting my put positions. I've started already. I'm going to keep adding to them because this is going to happen fairly harshly. Again, I expected it to start last week. Now, I guess if we really ended up in the same spot that we started out, and looking for this level to turn over here. Is it going to break through the top a little, 2,800? Maybe get 2,824. Maybe do we get a little beyond that? Could be. I don't really think so. What happens after that? 2,600, 300-400 points down. So do we have to sit through a little more BS and chop up another 15-20 points? Could be. At the end of the day, the better trade over here is to the short side. So for a day trader, you still have to be long and buying pullbacks on demand until we really get up to the zone and start really selling off. And by selling off now, this probably means we need to start breaking through 60-minute demand zones. Once that starts happening, then we're really going to be able to pick up the pace on the selling. You could see that most of the last few 60 zones that have been hit or have been working. So the levels are still holding and pushing higher. Again, over here, do we end up with a double top or a new high? That's the question. We don't really know. That's the 2,800 level. We sold off the first time from the outside of the zone. We get a little deeper probably this time, and then I would think a bigger pullback, something over here probably, and then then the selling starts. So for now, we want to be long up to 2,800. I can't see it. I personally would rather just sit on the sidelines here until we start selling this thing off over here, and then we start really pushing through the shorts, because the short it's a big short. It's going to be rough for the bulls. Let's take a look on the 15 for a sec, see what we got going on here. So, for now, you want to trade smaller time frames and, trade with the trend and all that. It's fine. It's just a little intraday trade. But once we start breaking through these zones again, it doesn't make sense to expect that any of these demand zones are going to do anything other than give, a base or a small little bounce with another opportunity to sell, because we're in the higher time frame zones, things that should really start pushing price down. Okay, so don't get sucked into fighting these demand zones on the way down and say, oh, I've got to buy them. It doesn't make any sense. Till we get back to, let's go back to ES for a second. On the way down, I would say, where is the price going to pause for us? So a chance to maybe catch a bounce or something like that. I would say we're looking to get short now, and we're looking for 26 or 26.50 or something like that, somewhere in that range. There's my pen. Okay. Right here. This is the beginning of anything that would be a potential bounce over here in the weekly. So once we start selling off, we're talking about this zone. That's somewhere over here on the daily chart, right? And this is the first zone over here, probably going to do nothing, just base a little bit, and something like that. Okay, and then we'll have to determine if they're going to create higher lows and rally out, or they want to just test the lows, which is more likely, I think, but we'll find out once we get there. You could see that there's a massive pocket of air over here. See this? This level should really give way. It's not that strong. It's been hit once, and we only got slightly higher. We just hit it again. We get back up here again. If we start selling off out of here, that zone pops. We're here before you know it. Right? So it's 100 ES points in a blink, maybe more. So down is definitely the way to go. Okay. NQ. So let's take a look at that. So again, we're looking over here on the weekly chart. It's all greens coming into the supply. Same story. We get this little baby doji for last week's, price action. And I think, again, we're looking at a pullback over here. You can see over here, there's a lot of room as well. This first level shouldn't do much. End up over here before we know it. Again, there's this little, all right, looking at something over here, minimum. Much more likely that we get even below that, okay? Somewhere down over here. So shorts are definitely a better trade. Again, swing trades are starting now with puts. Okay, that's what I've been building up my little position now. Okay, and on the 60. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. So, this week, not a lot of action, a lot of choppiness sideways. You can see how much what went on this week. Over here, just demand is holding, supply is holding. Until we start breaking down, there's not much to talk about over here. Okay. Bigger time frame picture, we know that's we're looking for shorts. That's it. Okay, from a smaller time frame perspective, intraday type stuff. So yeah, there's some demand here. We've made some higher highs and higher lows along the way for the 15. Over here. And, Friday, we did a pretty decent pullback over here with the lower high forming. And then, at the end of the day, they just decide to run it all the way back at the last, even after, after hour nonsense. So, don't put much weight into any of this nonsense. We'll have to see what happens starting tonight. Okay. Let's look at crude, which had an interesting week. We talked about crude breakout last week. Sorry about that. Back there. And bingo. Okay, so we do get the breakout. We actually have to put some demand over here on the weekly chart now with the rally-based rally. And we do get up to the 58 that I was talking about. Now, we're sort of topping out a little bit over here. We'll have to see if this has anything left in it. I think it does not. I think we're going to see a pullback out of here. And then, maybe new highs after that. Okay, but this 58 level should do something. I don't think we just break through the top of 58 without a fight. We're going to get to 60, but I think we're going to probably pull back into small time frame demand zone first under here someplace. We end up closing 57.07. The high of that day was, I don't know, almost 58 or something like that. So we had a pretty decent sell-off on Friday. Let's go look at that. Let's see where the demand is. There's Friday's sell-off is here. We were as high as almost 58, 57 to 80 something, right? Looks like we start chopping down over there, a bunch of hours, chop, 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 chop. We end up inside this demand zone, okay? Likely to get all the way into there. I don't know if we get through this demand zone, 56.64. So that's somewhere over here on the, and even lower actually on the 15. Let's go look at the 15 because the low here is 56.64. It's the prior highs. You can see this, right? And there's the new highs forming from there. So if that gets hit straight away, it should bounce back. The only question would be, once we do that, there should be supply over here. You see this doji candle? Yeah. Clean up a little bit. This one right here. There should be supply here. If we do drop-based drop into this thing, then, the target for the upside would just be there because we don't know anymore what's going to happen once it gets there. All right. So let's see. Underneath us here on the 60, on the 15, if we can find that demand zone, it'll give a bounce. It looks like it's a pretty decent trade. Yeah, it's level on level here. This thing, right? And then this one looks how far, yeah, far enough. So maybe we enter somewhere near the bottom of this zone and stop underneath here. Okay, and then we're looking at long back this way, probably till somewhere around 57.30 something. Okay. It's $1. It's 100 ticks from the zone. After that, I would think we're probably going to turnover from over here, make a lower high. There are no lower highs just yet. Right? This sell-off over here is both the recent highs, even on the 60, trend still up. So, you know, something like this, and then back down here. And then once we get over here, then we'll start rebuilding this, rallying back to 60 number. I think we're going to see 60 before the real selling starts kicking in. Go back here for a sec. Higher time frame. I'm going to open up the daily chart here. And this is what we're talking about. So there's 60 with the gap area over there. You see that? Right, the level that we're banging against over here is just this wick. And it should do something decent. We haven't been here in a really long time, like November or something like that. We should pull back into those little levels I just talked about. Right? And then pick up this demand over here. Is this little area is what I just showed you on the lower time frame. Then we get up to 60, something like that. And then, you know, we should have a serious sell-off out of 60. See how that looks on the 240. And now my scenario over here. Oops. Full screen. Okay, let's see what we got. So there's the 60 level. Looks like 59 to 60 up here. There's the supply we're banging into. This is the area we should bounce at. So yeah, I see we have a little bit of sell-off coming over here. So the double top action is starting to play out. We're back to the middle only. So the origin really is somewhere down over here, which is what we're talking about. So we should see something like this. And then down to the demand, and then up into 60 like that. So for now, we're going to be trading in this area of the chart. It's potential shorts, and then the rally back. Right? Depending if you want to take the short on the way down, it's a counter trend trade on the 60. But it looks like there's a pretty decent sell-off coming back, and then a nice bounce after that. Okay. Crude is done. Let's look at gold. So gold, bingo on the target for last week, right? 1350. It's the top. We hit the daily supply after we break out of the range over here on the weekly, right? We had this 2-3 week range going on. We break out to the upside. We hit the 50, and then we get a big pullback. So there's the flag breakout that occurred. We were talking about last Sunday into the supply zone. Back test. And then what happened over here is a little bit interesting because now the question becomes what's next, right? And there's the demand at the breakout level. We come back to it on Thursday, I believe, and then Friday the rally starts retracing a little bit, right? Let's go look into the 60. I think we have to deal with a little bit of a smaller time frame for now. We haven't touched 1350 in a really long time, so that's it's causing a little bit of trouble here for the bulls, right? So there's our 1350 up here, and then we drop base, drop base, drop base, drop base, drop, finally come down to the demand at the breakout level right here, right? And then we hold the bottom, double tap the bottom, pushing up. We come to this doji on Friday, and then we push back just a little bit, and now we're in demand. Right here. That's where we're closing off the week, right? So if you're in the long portion over here, your stop needs to be over here at this point. Okay, and what's next is more than likely a rally back over here. I think we need to hit this level, confirming the top if we're going to really sell off. Okay, this to me looks like one directional on the downside over here. There's no pivots in here. It's drop, base, drop, base, drop, base, drop. This is the first pivot. Okay, and now we have to wait and see what happens in this demand zone. Okay, if we're going to do this, is what I believe we could be seeing. Test of here, and then gold is going down. Back to the higher time frame. I'll show you why I say that. So we took out this area back over here without any tests. And we took out this area without any tests. If you look at the weekly chart, it's rally base, rally base, rally base, rally base. Where's the pivot here? Where is that? You see it? You know, it's all the way here, which means there's no higher low yet. So we're going to have a back test here. Where is it? I mean, I think we've gotten to the top as far as I can see. You know, before we get up into this area, which is going to come, we need one more of these. Somewhere pull back into the, looks like potentially 1300, maybe even a little under 1300. So, you know, long into this 1345 area, this supply zone right over here, right? That's what we're looking at. And I'm saying that we're in this 60 demand over here currently, and we're expecting this thing to turn back around. 1345 is the exit for this portion of the trade. You know, should we break through that, then we can talk again, but I'm doubtful that we're going to break it. So I think we're going to hit this level of supply up here, and then we're going to start selling off. We're going to come back, maybe fill the gap over here, maybe test 1280, something like that, and then we make the next leg up. So for now, gold lows are good up to 1345. That's it. After that, I'm starting to think maybe I want to be short for a little while into maybe 1300. So we'll see how that plays out during the week. But for now, the level is, the trade is long into 1345 and then potentially short. Let's look at the dollar. Interesting week. Again, looking like we may be seeing the beginning of head and shoulders. We're not sure yet. We have a pair of bearish twins on the weekly chart. We came into the demand zone like we were expecting to do from last week's webinar, and then we started holding the zone. So we don't know if this zone's breaking yet, if this is a drop-based drop or this is a drop-based rally, making new highs. We're not really sure yet. The dollar is not really tilting any, giving us any hints over here. Okay, so right now it's small time frame stuff. Right. So there's our euro, and it is, right, just a pair of bullish dojis over here on the weekly, and we got back to the supply like we expected, and now it's a question mark. Which way is it going? Is it doing this? Is it doing this? I have no clue. So right now, not a decent trade on either side of this euro. Trend is still down the higher time frames, and this is a mess. That's what I'm saying. There's not last week was much better setups. This week, I mean, what we're for the last 3 or 4 days, maybe even the whole week. Right? How many days out? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 days, no place. Right? Just 60 demand, 60 supply, and just chopping back and forth. So that's not something I can trade. Nothing from there. Which way is it breaking? I have no idea. Okay. Next, Aussie dollar. I like the short, but looks like let's see what happens here. We started talking about the shorts on last week. Yeah, looking for this head and shoulders to play out over here, right? This thing. So you had a wicked sell-off. As long as we stay below, you know, this high over here, this high over here, we're okay. This is just all back testing a little bit. It makes sense. Before it collapses into the air, it's testing this last level of demand that brought it back up there, right? See this right over here, we rallied into this area, there's the big sell-off, this thing, and then we come back to the demand, so it's testing right now, and it looks like it's about to fail. It looks like, at least on the 240, we get the bearish twins, and the continuation to the downside looks like it's at least from here, looks like it's on the way, right? So let's see if we can see that a little clearer on the 60. A push down over here is a sub 7,000 number. So yeah, shorts on Aussie dollar. Pretty nice looking supply right there. If we touch that, I'm there for the short. Let's take a look here. So it pushed up into this whole, this is the area that we're looking at on the smaller time frame. There's the supply right there, bang, bang, bang. This is the demand that's not fresh anymore, right? This was that big engulfing candle over here. So we hit the demand zone. And we start to chop back, chop, 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 chop. We end up in rally-based rally over here, and the week just closed. So what happens now? No, do we break it? Do we rally? I don't know. But if it gets over here, I wouldn't mind taking it short. It's only 10 ticks of risk over here. It's pretty decent, and you know, a fairly large reward for this trade here. Because you're talking about a sub 7,000 number, it's about almost 200 ticks to the downside for Aussie dollar if this supply zone over here holds. Okay? So right now, leaning short for Aussie. Okay? Pounds had a really strong week last week. After the hammer candle over here, we do get to continue to the upside. Right? On the weekly chart, we come back into this little area here, and we start to push out. Right? This is a flag. And now we're breaking out with a gap. So there's some strength going on currently on the pounds. Okay, let's see where the levels are underneath us and above us here, which, you know, where's it going? Take a look here on the 240, you can see the bull flag. It's really clear. Okay, so looks like it's going to head back to the top over here. Strong move, rally-based rally here, strong move, right? This was the breakout from last week. We ended up popping through this area. There's no demand above here. Supply, sorry, and then we start flagging around over here. So we hit some kind of resistance area, right around 113, probably at 13,100 or so, and bang, 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 and we start chopping around, chop, 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 chop. There's the flag. A rally to the upside puts us back to the top, which is what looks like should be coming here based on the strength of the move so far, and the rejection of the lows over here back to the flag. This we should be breaking out of the top, hitting the supply over here. Let's see. Smaller time frame. There's the uptrend. Zoom out a little bit. So there's a nice demand over here at 129 and change. You know, what I'm interested in where we are. No, you can see we're sort of dead center between the supply and the demand over here. So no good setup currently for pounds. It looks like if there's a breakout coming to the upside. Okay. Canadian. So the short looked great until Friday. We gave this freaking engulfing candle, so we know they had some kind of news and stuff. But it looks like the 200 average over here is sort of holding price. It looks like it did make a new high here, right? So the trend is still up over here. But I'm looking at this still from here. It looks like a head and shoulders still. And, you know, if we don't break out of the top over here, we start retracing some of this Friday candle. So then that's what this was, a news event that's going to get retraced, and then we start breaking down here. So, you know, can't really be short currently just because, you know, a lot of strength. Trend is up for sure. On the smaller time frames, it's up on the 240, so it's got to be up on the 60. And it is. So, you know, we need to take a look at, you know, where this thing is going to turn over, if it's going to turn over. Let's take a look. This was down. Pivot here. This is down. I take it back. The trend is still down. It's one move up. It's a strong move, but it's one move, and it's still a downtrend based on the pivots over here. So the supply that's in is actually really nice supply. Strong. It may very well just fail out of here after the news event, you know. So, you know, do I want to be short? Yes. I like the higher time frame. Am I ready to be short right here? No. It could very well just flag out through this zone and stop maybe from here. I don't know yet. So I'm leaning short, but the trade hasn't triggered yet. Do I want to be long? Well, not where we are now. I'm in supply zone. You know, maybe down here. I don't know. So right now, there's no trade currently for Canadian. I'm looking for this thing to start selling off. When it does, I want to be short because of that beautiful head and shoulders on the daily chart. But until that happens, you know, you'd have to be long. The trend. Well, the trend actually on the 60 is not up. It's actually down. Just can't be short from over here until we start, you know, selling off, making lower highs. We don't have any lower high yet. So I don't really have a current trade for Canadian. Okay, next. Yen shorts still in play. It looks like we're just going no place the whole week. You can see that we're sitting inside the daily demand zone so far. Right? Just a whole week, really small range, really garbage, nothing to talk about at all. For the yen, still expecting this thing to break down a little further, but until it does, there's nothing to do here. Just a bunch of garbage. There's nothing to look at. Right here, the zones from last week are still the same. We didn't go anyplace. Next, net guess. The longs are working awesome. Okay, and I'm expecting a pretty large gap up tonight. You see what happens over here. You see the reversal step pattern over here in the weekly chart. You can see there's nothing above us. Beautiful pocket of air. 2.9 is almost a guarantee. Potentially even 3 at this point for that gas. So I wouldn't be surprised if we gap up into 2.9 already just tonight. Looking for longs, buying pullbacks in demand. Expect that this is going to rally out of here at least to 2.9, and then we'll make a new call after that. That's the target for now. Another 250 points up or so. There's the uptrend up at 60, going all week nicely. Cool. Small pullbacks and hitting demand and rally again. Right? Looks like the 50 average is holding up price, and then we just keep boom, 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 boom. So pullbacks into demand are longs. Okay? Not too many good levels over here. I'd like to see new highs before I draw a zone over here. That's why I didn't draw this area over here. Right? Prior highs back here. This didn't make new highs yet. When it breaks out of the top, we can look at demand over there. We can also look at demand over here. So there will be some new zones. They're just not available yet to us. Copper along, awesome. That was the call of this season, right? Beauty. After this massive base, notice that we're breaking out of a monthly flag. This is huge. And this will also be a higher low, which means we should get through this zone. So expect at least, from a higher time frame perspective, a test at this level, 3.3. You can see there really is nothing here. 3.3 is actually the top of this here. This zone, 3.3 is this 3.3. Is that? It was the wedge. I'm going to open the side of the wedge of the breakout from back in July. I'll show you this. Okay. All right, we were trading inside this tight range. We had a fake out, and then we break the other side, right? And then we had trouble over here. We just broke this portion. Now there's all air. If we look back behind us, this whole thing is air, right? So 3.3 is the next level of supply. There's nothing here on the weekly chart. So, from a weekly perspective, you want to be long copper, okay? But where do you want to be long? There's a couple of nice looking zones. I think 2.8 looks awesome. If we pull back into that, I don't know. But daily levels, you can see we're coming up into some supply around 3. You have to expect 3 is going to cause a back test, right? Prior low, breakdown of the lows, wicked sell off from there, all the way down to like 2.5. So when we get touched, that's where the pullback comes, And then where we buy again, I would say. You're looking somewhere over here near the gap, probably 2.5. There's 200 moving average test, which hasn't been tested yet. So yeah, expect some serious resistance over here at 3, and then a pullback into demand. And there's a 2.8 demand, and there's a 2.6 looks like 2.8. That's actually 2.9. Sorry, 2.9, and then this level over here at 2.8. Somewhere over there would be the target. So once we get up here, we might be interested in taking shorts off smaller time frames. We'll have to see what that happens. But for now, nothing in the way. Up to, it looks like a test of potentially 3 for copper. So if you were long already, consider taking profits. This is a wicked, 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 wicked move. Very powerful. Yeah, so there's a 2.9, 2.5. The next level to join on this particular leg up until we get to the next time is really this demand zone sitting over here. Looks really nice. There's a smaller one over here on the 15 if you want to try that thing. But again, I'd like to see a new high first over here and then a pullback into this demand zone. Long copper still looking good for now. And soy, my favorite. I love soy. But it has been very, very choppy. We did have rollover on Friday. So you could see that part of this engulfing candle is the rollover. And we know rollovers tend to fill their gaps. So there's the rollover gap, and we're looking for a fill and a chance for the longs over there. Breaking out of this thing finally over here. So again, it's part of rollover, but still going to put a very bullish picture on the chart, especially if we can rally a little bit more before the end of the month, because then we're going to get this engulfing candle pattern over here on the monthly chart. We have so much air, I keep talking about it. This is about the last chance I think we're going to see for a chance to get long soy over here inside the gap. If it holds, this gap down here holds, the back test into the gap, buy soy. And we're ready for an explosion. There's the rally up there. There's the hold on the bottom side. After we had some weakness last week, we get it here, and then we start rallying out, and then the gap, the rollover is here. Expect the gap fill, then move out. So look for the fill. Longs inside the fill, inside the gap fill. Okay. That's that. Let's look at bonds, and we'll wrap up today. So what we're looking over here is, a really extended sideways action on the bonds over here on the daily. It's been going on since the beginning of the year, pretty much. It looks like a bear flag. We had a pretty nice bounce off the wedge over here. We're in this supply right now over here. I don't think we're breaking through the top anymore at this point. I actually think we're probably going to test back into like the 142, 143 area, somewhere back over here. But this wedge breaks down, I think, like this, the flag. And we hit this 142, tested the 200 average over here. We did the golden cross back over here. And then we haven't tested the average yet. So I think that's probably what's going on over here. We're looking for this thing to break down into like the 142-ish, like a $4 downside move here. There we go. Supply gets hit right there on the 60, and then we're in the demand, and I think we're going to start breaking down over here. It looks like this is already producing the lower high, lower lows for us. There's the air underneath us. There's no demand over here anymore. So we're talking about, producing this lower high. Right? After the drop base, the rally back comes over here. We put the pivot on it. We produce a lower high. We should break through this level. And that puts us down on the way to 142. So shorts, I think, down at the 142 for ponds is the trade for now. And that's about it. This week, I expect at some point that the equities will start to roll over. So maybe by Wednesday, which we're going to have a live trading session. I have to check the calendar, make sure there's no major events on Wednesday. But right now, it's scheduled for Wednesday. Let me just look at the calendar. Let's see. Wednesday. No, can't be FOMC. We had notes last Wednesday. So yeah, we're going to have a live trading session Wednesday and a webinar prior to that. We'll stay tuned for the time. Let's just see. This week calendar says Wednesday has... yeah, no big deal. Nothing going on. Perfect. Okay, so live trading this Wednesday. The webinar will be like, let's say 9:15 webinar, and then followed immediately by the live trading. Okay, everyone have a great weekend. I will speak to you guys on Wednesday. Ciao.